Now, some other parts to this class. One is we use masteringchemistry.com for online homework. And there's a link to Mastering Chemistry right here. Also in the syllabus, the second to last page gives you the step-by-step directions on how you get registered for Mastering Chemistry. Now, if you purchase the book at the Hack Bookstore, it came with the access code, so you should be all set. If you haven't purchased the book at the bookstore, if you didn't buy it new, if you got it from someone else who already used it, the access code won't be valid. You can purchase the access code directly from masteringchemistry.com if you want to, or you got it at the bookstore with the textbook. Once you get into Mastering Chemistry, you'll see all of the homework assignments for the semester are already posted and available to you. The very first homework assignment is an intro to Mastering Chemistry. This takes you through how this program works, different types of questions, different ways of entering numbers. It's going to explain to you how you use this particular program. And then you always have the chapter homeworks. So this is always due Tuesday night at 11:30, and you can see on the suggested study schedule that the first test material is on chapters 1, 2, and 3. Well, chapter 1 is a very short chapter. There's not actually any homework for that. So you have the intro homework assignment, then you have chapter 2 homework and chapter 3 homework. On the study suggestions, I notice you have chapter 2 homework done one day, and then I have chapter 3 homework done the next day and the intro homework assignment. So instead of waiting until Tuesday night when this is due, breaking it up during the week is going to be a lot more successful for you. But the homework is always due on Tuesday night. Even though this says work chapter 2 on this Thursday, it's not technically due until Tuesday night. It's always due the night before we meet to talk about it. So on the 31st, before we do the density lab, we will talk about all the chapters 1, 2, and 3 that are going to be on Thursday's exam. So you will always have completed the homework, and then on Wednesday, when we meet in person, is your chance to ask questions. I'll give you some more problems so we can verify that you understand that material. Then we do the lab, and the next day you come in and take the exam. Now, there's one other part that I want to show you which involves the labs. Each lab you have 3 components to. You have a pre-lab, which is done here on D2L. That's always due before the start of our recitation, our lab section. So it's always due Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Then once you get into the lab, I will give you a sheet of paper for you to collect your data, and you're going to turn that in. That is worth 5 points. The pre-lab was worth 5 points. Turning in that data sheet is another 5 points. Then you have a post-lab assignment, which is also done back here on D2L. That's worth 10 points. So each lab experiment is worth a total of 20 points. This is explained in the syllabus here just before the directions for Mastering Chemistry. You have a lot of detail. D2L is not as nice as Mastering Chemistry, so I recommend that you read through this before we start any of the lab assessment, which is done on D2L. 2 ways to find them. You can find them under the calendar feature, or you can click on assessments and then quizzes. I recommend you look at the calendar feature because that way you won't accidentally click on the wrong quiz. Remember the lab manual you purchased in the bookstore? That's a series of handouts that gives you the step-by-step procedures, and some of the questions that you'll be asked on the pre-lab and ask you questions about those procedures. So we'll talk more about this at our first meeting on Wednesday.